Another community in the U.S. is dealing with a wave of protests and anger after a white police officer shot and killed a black man. Michigan State Police are working to determine if the Grand Rapids officer acted in self-defense or whether, as Jennifer Johnson reports, he should face criminal charges. And a warning, you might find the images in this story disturbing.
Say his name!
Grand Rapids police and city officials are appealing for calm as protests erupt after the police-involved shooting of Patrick Lyoya, a refugee from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The 26-year-old was shot in the head by a white police officer during what was supposed to be a routine traffic stop.
The plate doesn't belong on this car.
After a brief exchange, Lyoya starts to run and a physical altercation begins.
Let go of the taser!
At some point, the officer's body cam shuts off. Police say it happened from the pressure of the officer on top of Lyoya. But video recorded by Lyoya's passenger shows the moment the officer shot him. The still unidentified officer is now on paid leave. Lyoya's family is in shock.
When I saw, as a parent, when I saw him on top of him, I said, okay, now my son is safe, maybe he can arrest him.
The family, who fled violence in Congo, is being represented by the civil rights lawyer who fought for justice for George Floyd, who died at the hands of Minneapolis police officers nearly 2 years ago.
The thing that just jumps out at you is how unnecessary this execution was.
The city's police chief is calling the shooting a tragedy.
The test is going to be whether the view of a reasonable police officer, whether that deadly force was needed to prevent death or great bodily harm to that officer.
In the U.S., there are no comprehensive policing rules. When officers are justified in firing their weapons is determined by each jurisdiction. Dozens of states have enacted police reform laws since Floyd's murder, but the federal George Floyd Justice in Policing Act of 2021 that would have set national rules and guidelines failed to pass Congress. In this case, it'll be up to county prosecutors to determine if charges should be filed. Many African Americans in Grand Rapids say they have a long history of not trusting the police. Now the city is bracing for more protests as residents demand justice. Jennifer Johnson, Global News, Washington.